What's going on, everybody? Christian Thomas here, and I'm coming at you with another video, and this video is going to be from Think Tank. And the funny thing is, they don't think. Take a look.
If you guys follow me on Twitter at Hannah Cranston, I pointed out an article from the AP where Scott Lloyd, who is the chief of the Office of Refugee Resettlement, equated rape and abortion as two equal forms of violence. All right, he justified barring these rape victims, some of the refugees that they have right now within this office, and immigrant minors from obtaining abortions by saying it would not be in their best interest. Now, in an internal memo from December 17th, Lloyd wrote that resorting to abortion in these cases would be an attempt to cure violence with further violence. Now, he wrote an abortion does not cure the reality that she's the victim of an assault. He added it is possible and perhaps likely that this young woman will go on to experience an abortion as an additional trauma on top of the trauma she experiences as a result of her sexual assault. Now, we've talked about this on the show here, but I just want to give you guys a little bit of a refresher that Lloyd has blocked at least two teenagers, one 17 years old and one 19, from getting abortions. Now, this has been in the news a lot, right? Yes. These teenagers who are here in refugee, trying to be resettled, right? These are refugees who have often, trying to come over the border, been raped or sexually assaulted, and they would like to get an abortion, or maybe they got pregnant in their hometowns and they were facing violence there. That was the case with one particular teenager where her parents said that they would kill her with the child, and so she left and she wanted to come to America and seek a better life so that she wouldn't be threatened with death, and so she tried to seek an abortion, right? And so I want to make it really, really clear that all of these teens who are trying to attain an abortion have asked for one. They want to get an abortion. They do not want to carry the child of, in most of these cases, they're rapists, all right? And so then to deny that, many judges have said that they don't have the authority to do so, right? That it's unconstitutional to basically take away a refugee's constitutional rights.
I have a lot of issues here. First of all, if they're refugees, they don't have constitutional rights, because constitutional rights are for citizens only. If you are not a legal or naturalized citizen of the United States of America, you cannot have constitutional rights. And secondly, if you're a minor and you want to get an abortion, it's not that simple in America to just walk in there and ask for an abortion. If you're a minor and you're pregnant and you need or want an abortion, you have to have parental consent to do those things. And second, even if you are of age and you want to get an abortion, there is still some kind of process in regards to getting one, because an abortion is an elective procedure, and you need to fill out paperwork, you need to pay money and make sure you're of legal status and things like that before just going through with that decision. And like I said before, it's not something that can be taken lightly,
which they have in this case. Right. So the judges are helping, but they're still trying to prevent it, and it's a long process. And if they get past a certain point, then you can't get the abortion and blah, blah, blah. You guys know all the details there. But it's really important that the way that he is talking about this. Now, we know that he is anti-choice, right? So that is one thing. But to equate rape and abortion is really, really detrimental, and has a lot of really bad consequences. What was your reaction when you saw this?
There's a lot. Yeah. There's so much, and we're picking out the piece, that you said that he's equating rape and abortion as the same level of violence and the same level of crime, basically, which is appalling. But it's a complicated issue, and the real thing here is time, because for what it seems like this guy is doing, what it seems like I've been reading this entire time is, once they get past a certain point in a pregnancy, obviously there's a point, it just goes on a timeline here. Once you get past a certain point, we can't do it. So it seems like they're just stalling so they can just get past a certain point. And I feel for this one woman we're talking about here who wanted an abortion, who fled because she was raped, who fled because her parents wanted to kill her because she was pregnant out of wedlock, who fled for all these dire reasons, and here she is just stuck, and the guy is trying to make her the criminal here for wanting to have control over her body and her life, and saying it'll cause further trauma. I'm sorry, but when you can choose to terminate the pregnancy, what further trauma is there going to be if you force this girl who's not prepared to raise a child, who's not prepared to have a child ripped from her, even if it's for adoption?
First of all, I just wanted to say that it's really unfortunate that these young girls and these young women were getting raped in our home country and their parents want to kill them for it. It's really unfortunate that that's happening, but at the same time, like I said before, even if that were the case, they still need to go through the proper channels and the proper legal protocol before getting an abortion. They need to go through the proper process of citizenship and things like that. And it's not to say that you necessarily need to be a citizen of the United States to get an abortion in America, but there is definitely some type of protocol for illegal migrants or illegal immigrants or whatever. And the thing is, like I said before, it's not just that simple as just getting an abortion. And I agree that if you're a rape survivor and you get pregnant by your rapist, I don't believe that you should be forced to keep the child. Fair enough. But at the same time, I understand that there are proper legal channels that need to be gone through before making that type of decision.
Who's not prepared for any of that? Like, what kind of trauma is that going to set on this girl?
Yeah,
like,
no.
I'm getting so angry talking about this.
Because it is angry, right? So
Yeah.
first of all, I think you can be angry by the fact that there is a man who is trying to take away a woman's choice over her body.
Right.
That is number one. That is not okay.
No.
I think the other component of it is that we're I guess illustrating abortion as something that it's not.
Right.
All right? There have been studies upon studies that have talked about abortion and when they are done in a medical setting, the way that they are done, and people have asked if it was any sort of trauma or pain or whatever.
First of all, no one is trying to take away from a woman's right to choose. No one is trying to take away anyone's abortion rights or reproductive rights. For you to say that is absolutely preposterous, because according to Roe versus Wade, a woman has the right to reproductive rights and a woman has the right to an abortion. The only way that that particular right can be taken away is if Roe versus Wade is somehow overturned. And over the past few presidents, no one has even mentioned overturning Roe versus Wade, not even Donald Trump. Even though Donald Trump is a staunch pro-lifer, not even he wants to overturn Roe versus Wade. And also, you keep equating rape with abortion. And like I said, I don't believe that rape survivors should be forced to carry the child, but at the same time, I don't believe that they should be pressured into aborting it either. That's all up to the family. That's all up to the individual themselves, because, I mean, if you're talking about bodily autonomy, you can't say that she should get an abortion on one hand and also talk about bodily autonomy on the other hand. It's like, if you're really that gung-ho on women getting abortions and you want to mandate female rape victims to get abortions, then you can't really make the bodily autonomy argument here, because it doesn't sound like you're completely for bodily autonomy as you say you are if you're talking about how rape victims should be forced to abort their child. Like, what if they want to keep their child? Like I said, it's like it's all individual here.
And nobody says it's traumatizing because people are choosing to do this. It's not traumatizing. There's different methods that you can use to get an abortion and things like that. And they're not violent.
No.
They're not, I mean, if it's a woman's choice to do it, it's not traumatizing. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not this scenario that Scott Lloyd and other conservatives and anti-choice people are painting. It's really not that. And so it's not rooted in fact. And so he's using this weird concept and falsity that he's, really developed in his head to restrict a woman's agency over her body, to prevent a teen who has fled violence and war and conflict and economic strife and refusing to allow her to have her own constitutional rights in America. And it's not right. And to equate these two things is so unbelievably appalling.
And another point that I disagree with is that when you said that abortion is not traumatizing, I mean, there are some women who wouldn't be traumatized by abortions, and then there are some women that are, because like that kind of stuff is not taken lightly, nor should it be. And an abortion by nature is the termination of a fetus. And like I said, I could see how that could be traumatizing because it's the termination of a life. And women with serious illnesses that will put herself or the fetus at risk, I could see how they'll feel traumatized because many of them will want to keep their child, and they'll have to make the traumatizing decision of whether to keep the pregnancy or to abort it. And like I said, it's like that sort of thing is not taken lightly. So you can't really say that that's not traumatizing because taking a life of any kind may be traumatizing. And this is coming from a person that's mostly pro-choice.
And it's wrong. It's just flat out wrong.
What
Like they're not.
What you said is correct. Like what he's saying is not rooted in fact either, because he's like all this trauma. You're right. Like he cited all these studies that don't exist. You know, and then those studies that you said that it's for women. They think about these things. It's not a traumatic experience. It really isn't. And the studies have proven that. What he's saying, where studies proven it's traumatic, that's false. It's a lie. And also, the fact that this girl. He is taking away her constitutional rights because even the Bush and the Obama administration set aside funds and set aside a committee to make decisions specifically for this situation where a refugee comes to this country, an immigrant comes to this country and can get an abortion. So the guy is literally breaking all protocol that's already in place. Like, what is the deal here? What is his personal vendetta against these women? It's weird.
As I have stated previously, first of all, refugees are not entitled to constitutional rights because they are not citizens, first and foremost. Second, abortion can be traumatic because, like I said before, an abortion involves the termination of a fetus. And some people may be traumatized by that given their stance on abortion and reproductive rights. And also the thing is like, it's illegal to turn an American citizen away from having an abortion. And even then, there's still a process and there's still channels to go through for that process. And in this case, we're not talking about American citizens. We're talking about refugees. And the thing is, like, they're not entitled to American abortions because, like I said, they are not citizens. Sure, we can give them access to abortions if we wanted to for some reason, but we're not entitled to because they are not naturalized or legal citizens.
It is weird, and the thing that a lot of people say, like, "Oh, I don't want to pay for your abortion." You're not. Federal funds do not go to pay for. Federal funds do not go to pay for abortions. There's this thing called the Hyde Amendment that doesn't happen. So that is just not the case here. Additionally, like I think there's nothing more traumatizing than giving birth to the child of your rapist. Like, I mean, birth in itself is a traumatizing experience, and can be, painful and things like that. And getting an abortion in a place, I mean, that's why we need to make abortions available, because getting an abortion in a safe and medical, arena is safer than getting your wisdom teeth pulled out.
I seriously think that you guys are mentally challenged because abortions are already in place. No one is really trying to take that away. Sure, people may disagree with the principle behind abortion given religious reasons or social reasons or whatever. That's their choice. They're entitled to that belief. Like I said, like no one is trying to take away their right to an abortion. And you keep equating rape and abortion, and you keep saying that abortion is not a traumatic experience, and I've been through that already. I'm not gonna go over it again. And when you said that birth is a traumatic experience, sure it can be, depending on the person who's giving birth, and depending on the circumstances of that birth. And I would say that a birth can be traumatic if the baby was born with serious medical issues, or if the baby was stillborn or something like that. I would say that would be pretty traumatic. But the average birth, I wouldn't say that's traumatic. Sure, it may be painful, but I wouldn't call it a traumatic experience. But then again, I've never been pregnant. I've never had kids, so I can't really speak on that 100%. And also, you make this comparison that of abortion is safer than pulling out wisdom teeth. That makes absolutely no sense, because when you're pulling out wisdom teeth, you're not terminating someone's life. Whereas when you're getting an abortion, you're terminating the life of a fetus. And people have different arguments on abortion and things like that, but that's not the crux of this particular argument here. The thing is, you make these stupid comparisons because wisdom teeth, abortion, they're not even on the same playing field, dude. Wow. And my last point is that no one who is not a citizen is entitled to American rights because they're not citizens, so they're not entitled to abortion rights here. I keep saying the same thing over and over again.
All right, think about that. All right, this is not a violent act. This is not traumatizing. These women deserve their constitutional rights, and it's wrong that he's trying to take it away.
It's a choice, and the fact that he's equating rape, which is not a choice for the woman, it was thrust upon her. To have an abortion is the woman's choice, and you said it. The girl wants this. She asked for this. Both the girls in this article want this. They've asked for this.
That's a really
good
choice.
It's
Rape is not a choice. Abortion is.
There we go.
There. Very, very simple. Let us know what you think about this in the comments down below. And be sure to follow us on Twitter at HeatherGTV and at Hannah Cranston. And we'll see you guys soon.
Well, that was cancerous. And no, I'm not going to follow either of you guys on social media. If anything, I need followers on social media, damn it. Seriously, though, if you like this video, please give it a like, comment, subscribe, and share. And I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.